So I am jumping on here really quick because I have been asked actually a lot in the last few days as I've been preparing for meal prep, my meal prep workshop, of how do you pack healthy lunches for kids, or how do I pack my healthy lunches for kids? And really, this is something that I'm pretty passionate about because I feel that nutrition, especially for our children, is one area that is really lacking, especially in our school system. The cafeteria lunches absolutely gross me out. When you actually look at the nutrition content, there is barely any nutrition content. And the foods they feed their kids and my kids, it's gross. It really is gross. So I am a big advocate for packing your kids' lunches, and you can do this on a budget. You can do this without a lot of time. You can do this even for the pickiest eater, I promise. And something that I talked about tonight, so if you guys have been following me, I'm running a 4-day meal prep master workshop right now, and I went live tonight to talk about just some meal prepping things and dinners. And something that was asked about with cooking for families is, I understand if you have picky kids, and especially if your kids are used to eating chicken nuggets and french fries, and you put a kale salad in front of them, no, they're not going to eat it. Nobody would, if that's the kind of food that they were like already used to eating. But you have to meet them where they're at and slowly make small changes. So one example I like to give my clients is, if your family is used to eating white bread, overnight, if you try to put even whole wheat bread or sprouted bread or anything in front of them, most likely they're not going to eat it, okay? But if you start with, okay, so they're eating white bread, switch to white wheat bread for a couple weeks, and then you can try wheat bread, and then whole wheat bread. So it might take 2 or 3 months, but eventually you can get there, okay? So when I'm giving you these tips about healthy eating for kids, it's not that it's gonna happen overnight. It's so, depending on where you're at, you might say, my kid would never eat that. But I promise, if you consistently put it in front of them, encourage them to just take one bite of it, and just kind of pack it in there and just say, hey, I'll just pack maybe 2 or 3 of these items, and I just want you to take a bite when you're at school or whatever. And teach them as you're going along. So that way, when they do get older, or if you have older kids, they can make those choices on their own. So when they're presented with soda pop, I say soda pop, so Southern, Coke, or soda, or I don't know what you guys say, or water, they're going to choose water over that Coke because they understand that sugar and the way that it makes them feel. But if they're not educated and they don't know, why wouldn't they choose Coke? I chose Coke. You guys, as much as like my mom cooked at home for a while when I was younger, like she didn't understand what healthy eating was, and it just tasted good. And so she would sometimes cook healthy, but didn't really educate us. So when I was out on my own, I ate crappy. Like I had a Pepsi and like chow mein almost every day for lunch. That was what like I chose, or the nachos or whatever. Like I didn't eat healthy. But it's because I just wasn't educated. So as you're trying to pack these lunches for your kids, also educate them on why, like why do we choose water over juice or whatever. So that's kind of where I wanted to stand, is just meet them where they're at. But here's a couple tips. And if you have any tips, I want you to share these as well. So for one, plan ahead. So make sure you actually have the foods and the groceries with you, or like at home, because I've been there where you're just kind of scrambling things together, and that's when you end up going and getting a Lunchable or something else that's not super healthy. So plan and make sure you have the healthier things at your house. Get them involved, educate them, help them pack their own lunches. You might have to do it a few times, but teach them, and then it makes it way easier. The less preservatives, the better. So if you're thinking about, adding in just like a granola bar, is there a way that you can make it better? So for me, it's either making my own if I have the time, or I love the Cliff Bar for kids. My kids love the s'mores. It's organic, it's less sugar, it's whole oats. Is it as good as homemade? No. But if I don't have time, it's way better than some of the other brands out there, okay? So, the less preservatives, the better. Just kind of think about that. So some things that I see a lot in kids' lunches, one is Lunchables. Okay, I understand the convenience of Lunchables. I understand your kids like Lunchables. Lunchables, you guys, are disgusting. They really are. The meats are full of nitrites. The cheeses are it's just not a nutritious meal. You're basically just like filling your kid's belly with just crap. So please, please, please try not to feed them Lunchables. Now, have I given my kid a Lunchable before? Yes. I'm not saying that it's the end of the world if you do it every now and then, but every day giving them a Lunchable with the cookie in it or the gummy worms and a Capri Sun. Well, is it any wonder why our kids aren't functioning like the way they should, or that they're super hyperactive? Like, what are we feeding our kids? So for Lunchables, make your own. Buy nitrite-free meat. So when I say nitrites are added to a lot of bacon, sausages, and lunch meats. It's a preservative. It's a neurotoxin. It's not good for anybody, especially children. Children are way more susceptible to these types of things. So buy nitrite-free meat. Buy some cheese, buy some Triscuits or Wheat Thins or whatever healthy cracker, make your own Lunchable. Amazon has a ton of these like cute little things that look just like a little Lunchable packet that you can reuse over and over. It's gonna save you money in the long run, and it's gonna be way better for your kids. Let's give our kids the best opportunity to succeed. That starts with their nutrition. When it comes to like the liquids that they're drinking, of course we know, no soda. Like, it's bad, just plain and simple. Diet is even worse, so don't think that that's better for your kids. Fruit punches and these things that are just full of sugar, you guys, you're basically just giving them teaspoons of sugar. There's no nutritional value. So for us, we just pack water. Now, if that's not an option right now for you, Capri Sun does make 100% juice. There's other varieties out there that's 100% juice. That's way better than the regular fruit punches and things like that. You can also make your own, like make your own lemonade and maybe do half the sugar, make your own juice, put a little extra water. Plus, it's going to save you a lot of money in the end. So that's going to be a great option for drinks. Some things that we add to our kids. So I'm just going to go down the list, and if you have any, I want you to add those in. Chips and salsa, or chips and guacamole. Really easy to pack for kids, and it stays fresh. Yogurts. Now you want to make sure you're looking at the yogurts. I love Simply Go-Gurts because they don't have the high fructose corn syrup in there. But you can find either organic varieties or a low sugar variety. Don't have them eat artificial sweeteners per se, but definitely the Go-Gurts and things that are like the Simply Go-Gurts. Applesauces, the unsweetened variety, they have the pouches now, or if you want to pack them with a spoon for the regular kind. But applesauce is a great way. If you make sure it's the unsweetened kind, there's no reason they need to add extra sugar. Apples are sweet enough. Fruit, any kind of fruit, cut up apples, regular apples, oranges, bananas. I mean, lots of things you can do here. My kids love grapes, and grapes stay pretty good for a while. Strawberries, depending on when their time frame is, can get a little mushy, but my kids love any kind of fruit. All right, vegetables with ranch. Now my kids, if you have enough ranch, they're gonna eat almost any vegetable. So carrots, cucumbers, celery. I mean, there's so many, broccoli, tomatoes. Now, ranch is something you need to be careful with. Now, I make my own ranch most of the time, but there's also a couple varieties at Walmart in the produce section that do not contain MSG. MSG, monosodium glutamate, is also a neurotoxin linked to a lot of really bad things. So try to avoid ingredients with MSG, and most ranches that you're gonna find on the shelf are gonna contain MSG. So either make your own, and you can message me and I'll get you a really awesome recipe, or you can buy, I think it's like Maserati. It's in the produce section at Walmart or most just typical convenient or grocery stores. So vegetables with ranch, whole wheat tortilla wraps. We do peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter with honey, lettuce and turkey. So my kids love, for some reason, it in a wrap versus a sandwich. Hey Sheena, send me a message and I'll get you the recipe for sure. Sorry, I've got some notes here. So now, homemade marinara sauce, homemade tomato sauce. So my kid, oh my God, my daughter, she loves the Lunchable. She had it at a friend's house. The Lunchable, that's the pizza, like you make your own pizza. So I now have been making her like a homemade variety, and she loves it. So I buy the little pita pockets. I make my own marinara sauces, which literally is like a can of tomatoes, some zucchini and squash, and I blend it all in there. I make my own marinara sauce and freeze it, and I put a little bit in a little serving cup, give her some shredded cheese. I buy nitrite-free pepperonis, and she can make her own little pizzas. It's less expensive and it's way better for her, okay? So she loves those. Natural peanut butter. So looking for the natural peanut butter varieties and doing your peanut butter and jellies. Again, jelly can have high fructose corn syrup. So now Smucker's makes one without without high fructose corn syrup. So your typical peanut butter and jelly is always our favorite go-to, but just make sure you're getting the more natural kind. So kids will not even notice, I promise. If you switch from crunchy Jif to natural Jif, they won't notice. I almost guarantee you, unless they see it. So I promise, just switch to natural peanut butter. It's not that different. Switch to no high fructose corn syrup, syrups and jellies. I promise they're not going to notice a difference. And those are little small changes that can make the world of difference. Homemade cookies. So I try to always put like a treat in there, and I'll give them a little dark chocolate little square. Homemade cookies, and in homemade cookies I can put some oats, and I can use applesauce, and I can kind of make it somewhat healthy again, so that helps. Hard-boiled eggs are so easy, and we add a little salt and pepper in a bag and just send her off with a hard-boiled egg. Dry cereal. If your kids like to eat dry cereal, you can buy different healthier varieties. We love the oatmeal squares, Cheerios, plain Cheerios. I mean, those are just an easy snack for them. Whole wheat waffles. Whole wheat waffles dipped in honey, my kids love. And so I just buy the frozen gluten-free Kashi, I think it is, variety, and I'll just put it in their bag frozen, and they love it, and they love to dip their own. So those are just some ideas. If you guys have any, please, if you're watching this live right now, share some of your tips. If you're watching this on the recording, share your tips as well. Share this video if you have friends that have kids. I really, like I said, I think that the health of, you guys know we're in a health epidemic. It starts with our kids, you guys. And there's so much sugar and crap added to the foods that kids just don't need. And I know for me, I want to give my kids the best chance possible to succeed in this life. And when they're overweight and they're obese, it just puts them, it doesn't mean that they're not going to have a happy life, but it just makes it more difficult for them. I was an overweight child, and it was hard. It was hard. Did I still have a happy childhood? Yeah. But do I have some pretty painful memories of being called fat and bullied and all of that? Yeah. And I'm not blaming my mom by any means. She just didn't know. And so just equip yourself with that knowledge. And again, you don't have to change everything overnight and just go completely crazy, because your kids are going to say, Mom, what are you doing? We're not used to eating this way. But you can make those small changes, and those little small changes, taking MSG out of their diet, taking high fructose corn syrup, taking artificial sweeteners, and just really decreasing their sugar intake. It can make a world of difference, I promise. And it's not about weight loss or anything like that. It's just about being healthy. So I educate my kids when they say, hey, can I, have a popsicle tonight? And I say, babe, you've already had enough sugar today, and too much sugar isn't going to make you feel good, and it's not going to make you healthy. And so they start understanding, and I promise over time they will get it. So thank you so much, everybody, for jumping on here. I know Monday nights can be so crazy, especially today. For a lot of you in Northwest Arkansas, school started. Just, it's summer's ending, and I'm mixed feelings about that, but I'm excited to get back into a routine. But again, it's a new routine, and it's crazy. And so when getting home from work now, it's earlier bedtimes and packing lunches. And so I hope you found this helpful. Thank you again for jumping on. If you have any questions, never hesitate to reach out to me. I run monthly accountability groups. I am passionate about helping people become the healthiest versions of themselves. My next one starts August 21st. It's just a 21-day fitness accountability boot camp. So I'm calling it 21-day boot camp. It's fairly simple. It starts on the 21st. If you'd like to join me, message me hit me up in these comments below. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be teaching you, and I will be incorporating a lot of things you can do with your family, because that's my life. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, y'all have an awesome Monday, and I'll see you soon.